Let's get technical. Thomas Nagel joins us, a trader at Equinet. Thomas, very good morning. Let's get straight on to this Dow Transports. Always closely watched for indications of a broader change in market trend. How are you reading the transport sector?
Yeah, morning, Jeff here from Frankfurt. I spoke about this index a lot of times here on CNBC, and here you see the weekly graph of this index. You know, the Dow theory, that means we have a really important axis here for this index. And this index formed a shoulder-head-shoulder formation above within the last 2 years. And the index was in a critical situation within the last weeks because we formed the last shoulder. And there was a danger that we could form this shoulder-head-shoulder and that we form a sell signal if we would break the level of 4140. But within the last days, this index broke this right shoulder. That means he is on the way to cancel this topping formation. If you see a confirmation of this cancellation, it would be a really strong big buy signal for the whole US market. And so I think it's really important to look to this index. As long as the index is above of 4140, this shoulder-head-shoulder will not be confirmed. Only a break of this level would be a point for a confirmation and a lot of troubles for the US markets.
Yeah, and it would kind of fit in with the broader story from the Dow, wouldn't it, where we've seen this 200-day moving average breached. But let's take you on, because I think the financials are key in this story of a stronger run for the markets. How do you see the banks index?
Yeah, Jeff, that's right. The banks had a lot of trouble in the last months. Here you see the Dow Jones Banking Index itself. And you see that we formed something like a reverse shoulder-head-shoulder formation. And we are on the way with last Friday's strong up move to break the neckline. And that's a really important sign. We have to break the 3780 level to confirm the shoulder-head-shoulder formation. And in this case, I think we are ahead of a really strong acceleration on the upside. If you take a look to the lower line, you see the relative performance of this index against the S&P 500. And this downtrend, this underperformance was broken some weeks ago. Within the last weeks we saw this consolidation, and now we are ahead or in the play of the next uptick. And I think that's a really good point for an acceleration on the upside.
And how about the telecoms? We've already talked about the weak performance for this sector from the start of the year. Can that be turned around?
I think there's a really good chance for that. Here you see the trend of the last years. It's a solid uptrend, but the index came down sharply within the last months. That's what he told. It's the strong underperformance. But within the last months, this index tested its lower line of this uptrend several times. Same time, the relative performance, the lower graph, tested its last low, but couldn't break this last low. That means the relative performance tested this low for the second time, while the price index itself doesn't form a new low, and that means it's a positive, that's a bullish divergence. And so I think we have a good chance that this 293 level will be a good base for acceleration on the upside. Next target should be 322.
Let's have a look at the food and beverage sector then. Where do you see this moving next? Because again, we've had that breakdown. Is there a possibility that the trend will turn?
No, in my opinion, that's the one of the only indices I have bearish bias at this moment. You see a solid uptrend within the last months, within the last years, but within the last 6 months, a consolidation flag was formed, and now we are in danger to break down from this consolidation flag. And if you see the lower line, the relative performance, that's still in bull mode, still an uptrend of the last 3 and 4 years, but we are ahead of a break of this uptrend. And if we see a break of this uptrend in the relative performance, I think the price index will slip down from this consolidation flag, and we will see a strong acceleration on the downside here.
Thomas, thanks very much for your time this morning, sir, and running us through those charts. Thomas Nagel, trader at Equinet. Myanmar's